him to be this millionaire.
Yeah.
Right? You got yourself, just like Kevin said at the end, you chose this man. You chose this man that you wanted to have this 50-50 with because he wasn't an alpha, a high value man.
Yeah.
So then you have to accept that. You can't have something that you're not.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot have something that this guy is not capable of. And we are back.
Yes, we are.
With another episode of His and Hers.
Yep.
Right, guys? This is my beautiful wife.
Thank you, Sim. Nice to meet everyone. And welcome back, viewers.
Yep. Thank you to all the loyal viewers. Thank you to all the new viewers, like we always mention, right? My name is Tuan, by the way, right?
Yes.
If you guys didn't know my name from before, right? Guys, thank you so much. Go and obviously check out our channel over on TikTok at His and Hers YT. I'm going to get all the plugs out of the way, right?
Yep.
Guys, like this video, right? Smash that thumbs up button, right? Turn the notification bell on about new content. As you guys can see, we're going to be trying to post every day or every other day, right? And so, guys, we've been really happy with the success of the channel, at least in our minds so far. And so we want to say thank you so much to you guys.
And I want to shout out and say happy birthday to my wonderful husband.
Oh,
happy birthday.
gosh.
Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Tuan.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Love
just
you, honey.
One more tick on the age counter, okay? But
He's still like 21.
oh, gosh,
Just joking.
no, I
LOL.
No, don't think like that at all.
Well,
okay?
happy birthday, honey. I just had to say it is his birthday. So
Thank you,
today.
guys. Thank you. But guys, appreciate it. Thank you so much, my beautiful wife, for saying that, right, guys? But come on. Appreciate you guys. Keep pushing the truth out there. Debunk the lies, right?
Yes.
And then just keep
And
on.
thank you for all that love. I mean, we've seen a lot of likes. We've seen a lot of comments. And, so that is great. Thank you, viewers, for being with us.
Yeah, no, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
thank
keep
you.
pushing. Keep pushing. 2022,
keep
man.
going.
This is the year, 2022.
Yes.
Guys, today we're going to be reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. It's kind of been this series of videos that we've been reacting to, right? He's talking to these modern women, right?
Yep.
They're kind of in their early 20s to mid to late 20s, right? And they've just been having a really good conversation about kind of how the current trend is and, especially with the modern women of, the lack of understanding of the modern man, how the feminist movement has kind of unfortunately destroyed this mindset, right? In terms of what we as men and women, as far as what our understanding of each other used to be, right?
Yep.
And so, no, we've been really good. This is part 5. The title of this video, guys, is Men Are Useless.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
Pretty harsh statement there. As a man, I feel triggered to
You're
use
not
this
useless.
generation's buzzwords, right? So, but anyways, we'll see. We'll see
Well,
what
here
they
we
say.
go. Here
Yep.
we go. Let's see what's all about.
Yeah, they're not gonna. You're saying.
Most men are not going to tolerate it.
I disagree. Oh.
No. Understand what I mean. There's only one way to keep score with what men do by who they marry. All men will have sex with all of y'all. They'll tolerate all of you. They'll smash. But wife you, hell no. Most men will be like, because what can a man do about a situation that's outside of his control? No, if you're already coming into it with, let's be honest, let's be real. Let's just have a real conversation. When you were little girls, okay, especially when you start to bloom and develop.
Real quick, I don't want to miss this point,
Yeah.
but he's spoken a lot right there. He actually spoke some really powerful words in that first initial thing, right? And we've touched on this before, but I want to reiterate again because he just said something really powerful, right? Is women, especially the modern women, do not conflate sexual attraction with commitment attraction.
Yes.
Because I think that's one of the key modern women's mistakes that they do is that they say, oh, a man wants to have sex with me, so therefore he values me. No, guys.
No.
It's not like Kevin says, unless you're putting a ring
ring in
on
your
your finger or committing to you fully, which means that he's committing his life to you to protect, to provide, right, to build a finance for you and his kids and your family. He is not valuing you. Right, he only wants to have sex with you,
And it's totally different, ladies. And I don't know why most ladies are equating the lust for love.
Yeah,
It isn't. It's lust. They can sleep with you. It doesn't mean they can bang you. You might be hot and whatever else, but it doesn't mean you're his wife. You're not on his up here with him. You're not.
Correct.
And this is why lust and love and putting a ring on the finger doesn't mean anything, ladies. It's like if you don't walk down the aisle and all you have is a commitment ring and he's been dangling onto your commitment ring for 5, 6 years, he's not going to marry you most of the time.
Yeah.
He's just hanging on to you there, just like, hey, we're just, together. But that's about it. It doesn't make you a wife. You're not a wife. Trust me.
Right. You
If a
haven't
man
won.
if a man loves you, truly loves you, he can meet you one day and said, here, I want to marry you with a ring and I don't care what it takes for us to walk down the aisle. That is love, lady, not lust. And if you wanted him to wait and not to have sex with you until marriage, he will do that because that is love, not lust. Okay? So hashtag vagina discipline, hashtag the others. So that goes both ways, men. Okay? If you love someone, it doesn't mean you have to bang them and hit and run. If you love them, value that. Yeah. Value
and
their femininity.
And let me add some context to what my wife said.
So,
that what you just said was true, right? So, for example, one of the things that my wife just said was that if a man meets you, and she used an extreme example. Obviously,
I'm just saying.
We can't get to know you too much in one day.
But some people who
right?
truly love you,
but
it
see,
happens.
this is the fallacy. Well, no, you're 100% right. But my point is, the fallacy is that it takes a long time for a high value man to recognize a high value woman. And the truth is, guys, it doesn't.
Nope.
Right? A high value man who is on his purpose of wanting to marry and have kids, he is going to recognize what this woman is bringing to the table. And so if she is bringing that, right? She's bringing her fitness, her femininity, and her fidelity. He knows her fidelity is low, and she's providing all these values to him in those first few days, weeks, months, whatever short period of time. He will recognize us and he will commit to you because high value men are on the purpose of wanting to obviously have a family, right? So the time thing is like, you don't need 5 years. You don't need 2 years,
and that's
right?
what I'm trying to say.
You can get that in the first, few months, let's just say, right? In terms of finding out, right? And then in terms of what you said, what did you also say? You said something about, was it about fidelity? Right?
Yeah,
in terms of
you don't have to be sleeping right away with each other. If he truly love you, he'll have you wait.
Correct. He will, right? Because one of the things that a high value woman is supposed to bring is a low body count.
Yep, and that's what I'm trying to say.
And so what I wanted to touch upon that is because she's able to bring the other things. He can see that obviously she's fit, she's obviously beautiful and in shape, and then she brings the femininity, right?
Yep.
She's caring, she's kind,
nurturing.
she's nice to him, right? She's cooperating, right? She's nurturing to him. She takes care of him in terms of the other aspects, like like obviously we talk about kind of like obviously pragmatic things like cooking, cleaning, right? Putting him at peace in terms of the mentality. He comes home from a hard day's work, right?
Yep.
And she's actually a soothing voice, and like, hey, just rest with me and relax with me instead of bringing more drama.
Nope.
A man can see that. So even though I just want to say real quick, yes, there is a time limit on when they're supposed to sleep with each other, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously as a man, that's what you want.
I understand,
right?
but you're not going to be like boom bang, and you don't have like there's
correct.
She's
it doesn't
a
have
purpose.
to be that night,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
what I'm trying. Is what my wife and I are agreeing upon, right? So as long as he understands that there's that possibility of eventually getting the sex, but she's bringing all this other value. Right, that is signifying that she's wife worthy.
Yep.
He will commit to you.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
what
I
I'm
think that's the
saying.
other fallacy too, because obviously all these videos that we watch and we react to, right? The modern women thinks that and even the modern man to some extent. That's the reason why you and I disagree with some of these reactions.
Well, I feel
they
that's
want
why
the
they're
sex so fast.
Yeah,
you know?
they equate lust, sex for love. It isn't love, women. I mean, like men already have that sexual urge. Okay, if we just give it up all the time and all that, they'll sleep with anybody who's going to give it up for free.
Yeah.
Why would you want to give up that one important thing that we as a woman should be valuing for free like that? Yeah. You shouldn't.
And
you should respect that. You should nurture that. You should, hold on to that for that special one, that person that's going to be, the father of your child. For the best outcome, not just for everybody. That's just going to give you a little handbag here, and a nice dinner there, or whatever else.
But
ladies, not all the time.
But ladies,
no,
there is
don't
some
be that
truth.
way.
There is some truth though that there is a time limit. Obviously, if you keep withholding the sex from this high value man, because he is high value, he has options.
Not
right?
with just holding like that, honey.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't expect it from, oh, okay, day one, I just took you, I
Correct.
flew you out
Yeah.
to Paris. Let's have
Yeah.
dinner,
No,
and or I get you a luxury purse, or here I might give you a little
Yeah.
bracelet here or some value. You're expecting sex.
No, but my point is we want to make sure that we understand both sides of the coin. There's this
Yeah.
there's this timeline that you guys both need to agree, like, hey, I'm providing this, you're providing this,
Yeah.
and we both agree that we're on the same purpose of wanting to have a family and the kids.
That's what I'm saying.
And we both recognize that you're bringing the correct values to the table, right? We have to consummate this trade eventually, this deal eventually is all I'm trying to say,
Well,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
But
A purpose.
But make sure that you guys are on the same page
Yes.
about that, right?
The right
What are
one.
the things you were
Correct.
told by adults about boys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Be careful. Yeah, be careful around the little boys that they were.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-oh.
be careful of older men because
Uh-huh.
they'll
And then what were you talking about? And what were you taught boys and men are supposed to do?
cater to you,
Okay.
protect you.
Uh-huh.
Be
So men are either a utility or something to be feared. You only look at us in terms of our usefulness to you.
I feel like it's set up.
I
Society
thought
has it set up to where it's like both of people. They both feel entitled like that.
No,
Like
we don't.
women
No, we don't. Men are told very clear what we're supposed to do for y'all. We're told very clear we're supposed to protect, provide, provide, peace, all these other things. And when I ask what are women supposed to do for men, this conversation shows y'all haven't put a lot of thought into who we are, what we want, or what you're supposed to do for us. When I ask about a man, it comes back to what you want. That's the way it's been set up. And which is funny is because the very people that are being tailored to and catered to sound like you're oppressed. And the very people who are on the other side trying to figure out what's going on are the ones that, would you say that most women have empathy for men today?
No.
Would you want to raise a son and put him?
And that's the cause of obviously the matrix, right? The lies that we've been telling women, right? Is that like, hey, you can get your own bag and so you can provide for yourself. So unless a man brings just his utility is what Kevin's trying to say, right? Unfortunately, the modern woman has been brainwashed to believe that unless a man can just give her something, right? He's not valued.
worth.
So I can see where this channel, this video saying where men are useless is they're kind of like in that mindset, right? They think men are useless unless they can bring something that they get. They don't look at anything that they need to bring to the table, right?
It's all
So
about
that's
me,
what-
women. So far, these women on the panel, it's all about me. It's not about,
There's a trade. There's a
Yeah,
trade. We say it
no.
all the time. There's got to be a deal, right?
Yeah.
If you don't think that you need to bring anything to the table, how are you supposed to make a deal?
Nope.
How are you supposed to make any type of relationship, right?
Well, half of these women, I don't see any high value man would be,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Out in the world like that with women who thought if women took a snapshot of the things you hear, not necessarily just at this table, but the snapshot of things you hear, would you want your son to be out there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Then how do we change that? I don't think anybody's a bad person. I just think that we don't have these conversations. We know how to have sex and we know how to argue. But when I often ask women, think about your brothers or your sons. What would you want them to feel out there? And you think about how would you want him to be out there and how do we change that? Because what men in your life do you respect their opinion enough to change what you're doing?
My brothers and like my father.
Okay. That's a very small group.
Yeah. Immediate. It's immediate.
Anybody?
A lot of like influencers, like pushers, like the law of attraction, like teams and stuff like that. It depends.
Okay.
I have a lot. You said what men?
When do you listen to in your actual day-to-day life that you respect enough to change what you're doing?
The men that I potentially want to date. I like to get feedback from guys that I'm talking to, thinking about dating or dating, and to what's happening.
Real quick too, I mean, he touched on something there in terms of like, hey, what man would you listen to, right? And they said their brothers and their fathers, right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest, guys, there's a huge population of this modern day and age, especially with the feminist movement, that there's a lot of single moms that are raising kids, right?
Yeah.
Daughters, sons, or whatever, right? So if you don't even have a father in the household, who are you really listening to?
Well,
And-
she just medias, things that are out there, social medias, all that stuff, and she just said influencers and all that stuff. So
Correct. And then if you don't have a father in that household, are you really going to listen to your brother? Let's be honest, most of the modern women don't really listen to their brothers. I'm sorry to say, right? If they don't listen to their dad, or if their dad's not around already, why would they listen to their brother?
yeah,
Right? And then the brother that's in that situation, that's raised by a single mom, do you think he actually has the truth? He actually being taught the truth from a single mom? We've talked about this in other videos, guys. Unfortunately, the single mom is going to raise the kids in an
A certain
improper
way.
fashion,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to say improper because that's just the outcome. The statistics speak for itself, right?
Yep.
That brother who's raised by the single mom, are they really going to have the mentality and the ideology to give his sister even the correct advice?
yeah,
Right? And so Kevin is totally right. It's like such a small percentage of men, even that match, if they even have it to begin
Yeah.
with. And then that percentage of men, if it's even available, is not even in the right frame of mind
nope,
to give them the right advice.
yeah. That's what we're
Right?
trying to say.
So that's where this why it's so, I guess, reason why all these modern women are failing so much, because there is no male influence.
yeah,
And then now, if on top of that you add the social media aspect, where they're saying don't even respect other men, right? Don't even listen to other men,
yeah,
right? So now you're not going to listen to your brother and your dad, who's already limited already, and then who's already limited in terms of what they know already. And now you're saying don't even listen to other men who might be speaking the truth. Where is that respect? Where is that knowledge even going to come from? You're not. You're just going to keep on getting lied to from the Matrix.
Well, look at Kevin's posture and the way his tone is. He's like, yeah, these women, no matter what I say, they're not listening to me. So good luck. Good luck being the cat woman, the dog woman, the pet woman, whatever you want to be, because you're gonna live that single life, and you're not.
Well,
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
just wanted
matter.
to say that because I wanted to
So-
provide some context on why the outcome is happening, right? And obviously, Kevin's alluding to it, right? But it's like, guys, if we don't get to the bottom of why it's happening, right? How can we actually come up with a solution? So I think Kevin's going to say it here pretty soon, but the point is, like, you need to actually respect what the man is trying to say.
Yeah.
You actually need to open your ears, like my
they're
wife
not.
said, open your eyes and actually try to understand what the man is trying to tell you,
Yeah.
right?
Kind of self-evaluate because I like to know. what
So
they-
somebody you were dating.
To put it simply, anyone who I feel has my best interest at heart.
Would you say these pools are very large?
No.
Okay, so if we just
Okay,
need you
real
to
quick,
sample.
I don't want to stop it to comment on everything, right? But she said, I want to, find that person that has my best interest. But you've never been taught even what your best interest is.
Yeah.
As a modern woman, you've been told to go get your bag, go get
Go
your
do all this
career, get a
stuff. Yep.
PhD. That's not your best interest.
Yep.
Who's the person telling you that you need to have a family, have
Yeah.
kids, have a husband?
Yeah. Well, getting
So,
PhD and
if
all that
you-
stuff is gonna take a while, ladies.
Correct. So if you've already been indoctrinated in your mind that you need to have a career and have a PhD and have
Yeah.
a freaking a schooling, you don't even know what your best interest is.
Nope.
And so
No,
if a
you
man
don't.
comes and said, hey, like, I'm bringing this, I'm bringing my finance, I'm bringing my fame, and I want us to have a family, you're going to be like, I don't want to listen to you.
Yep.
You're telling me totally the opposite of what the social media and the Matrix is telling me, which is I need to get my bag.
Yeah.
I need to get my money. I need to get... That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like we need to recognize the lie. We need to recognize the reason, the cause, to understand why the effect is happening.
Yeah.
Right. So these women aren't even being taught to recognize the, obviously the best intention for them. They've been lied to in terms of what the best intention for them is.
Well, you can see a lot of people are trying to tell them, but they're not listening, honey. They're not waking up and smelling the coffee. So how are you going to help someone
Well-
who doesn't want to try sometimes?
Well, you're right, but let's put a little bit more clarity. There's actually not a lot of people telling them. That's the reason why guys like Kevin, right? There's a reason why guys like, within the manosphere, right? The RP committee. The reason why like channels like us that's speaking the truth. Now you're starting to finally hear it, right? Because for the longest time, the Matrix, the culture has tried to shame men from telling the truth. And now we're finally starting to tell the truth, but you can see the resistance. You can see the resistance, like, the lack of wanting to hear the truth from women, right? And so that's because they've never been told what their true purpose is supposed to be, right?
Okay.
Both sides. Women don't tend to listen to men. All right. And if women as a group have little empathy for men, how does it change? If you're not listening to men in general, if you don't listen to very small groups of men, how do you guys change?
Do I want to change? I'm sorry, I'm being funny.
Nah, I mean, it's
I don't know. I've never.
Would you want the world to change for your son? Or would you want him to be in this?
The world to change?
Would you want your son to be trying to find a mate in this environment?
Yeah, I can't change the world.
That's not the question. Would you want to send your son out? Would you want your son? You want the best interest for your son. You want to send your son. So you can't change the world. So you're just gonna send him to whatever school, whatever situation.
No, I'm not. That's very circumstantial.
No, it's very deliberative. It's very deliberative.
Of course, I'm not just
So
gonna send the child out into the world
But the world is this. So we'll send them to the best schools and the best churches and then this and that. But then
this is crazy. Like, he's literally saying, like, this is the reality.
The reality, but
this is the reality. Like, let me give you an analogy in terms of extreme is what he's saying. You send your son out into this world that's going to kill him. Is that what you want to do? And she's literally saying, like, well, it's circumstance. You never know, and I have no control over it.
Yes, you do.
It's like, really? Let's say my point is answer the question. Let's say you don't have control over it. Let's say you can't change the world. It's a yes or no question. Would you want to send your son out there to die? And the fact that she can't even answer yes or no.
You, as a mom, do have control of your child's destiny in somewhat. Okay, it's called when they're first born. You direct them a certain way to their future, and you guide them. Okay, you can protect them. Okay.
You're 100%. That's another topic.
Yeah.
My wife is 100%. But the topic was asked. It's just a yes or no question. Your son is going to have this negative outcome by you sending him out in this world because this is the reality. Do you want to send him out? And she cannot answer this question.
I know.
She's been so brainwashed and indoctrinated that she can't answer like, no, I do not want to send my son out. Her feminism indoctrination is so ingrained that she says, well, I can't do nothing about it. And if I just send him out there to die, then so be it. That's literally how she's answering it. That is crazy to me, guys. I don't know what else to tell you.
The very important thing of mating and relationships, I can't got nothing to do. The answer is y'all got to have these conversations amongst yourself and work out your issue with men. That's what it comes down to, because you don't even listen to us. But the bottom line is, here's the ugly reality. You need us. Whether you want to admit it or not, you need us.
I admit it. I woke recently. I woke up. I listened to the guys I dated and what they say and what they want.
But it has to be. But it has to be. It has to be more than just the guys you date, because many women would say, I respect my man, I'll cater to my man, I'll submit to my man, I'll be cooperative with my man. But then you give the rest of the men in the public your ass to kiss. And it's the rest of the men who provide the security, the safety, the infrastructure, everything else that you need. The reason the world is as safe as it is today, and you can walk through Miami in heels and skirts and not worry about being booped over the head, because you got security. What do men in this country and this world do that's good that has nothing to do with women?
That has nothing to do with women?
Football.
I'm good to you in a minute.
Whoa.
Crickets.
I don't think. Okay. I feel
Scratch that one, honey. I don't
men
think I
have
know.
provided a lot of, because I love a manly man. I love the essence of a man. So I feel like men have provided, but that doesn't have nothing to do with women. This sounds weird, but like infrastructure or like like a lot of like I feel like of how a lot of things get taken care of, men do that. And it doesn't mean with just women. I mean like with like every situation.
Okay, what else?
Um, It don't have nothing to do with me.
I feel like everything has to do with women. So I knew build,
Huh?
building structure, building, protecting,
Protecting who?
well, there's children,
Huh?
protect children,
Yeah, women and children though.
children, and also for the planet,
Mm-hmm.
like
Building though, but that protecting, we don't protect each other. So what do we protect? So building, then what? So what else? Anything?
I think a lot of it has to do.
I have my thoughts. I'm curious what he says.
Good. That does not have to do with women. And they lead, take initiative usually for a lot of things. Just the man's nature. When they do this good, they do a lot of things that's good, but I think that
So if there's a lot, name me three.
three things, three good things.
Yeah, you said lead. Go ahead. Like, is there a lot? Pick three.
When you say good,
No. You already you said a lot, so I shouldn't have to define
men
it.
are great.
Okay, men are great. They do a lot of good things. What are three things?
Oh, they
You said
they
football.
groom other men.
Okay, you said football.
Football also what has to do with football, I think being a leader for other men, like guiding other younger men down a better path. Yeah.
They lead. But that still got to do with a woman because he's leading the other man to be good. And then
So I want to be clear. Infrastructure building. What'd you say?
I said
Leading and cutting hair in football. Now I want you to imagine all the millions of men who are going to hear this, and I want you to think about this is the considered opinion of 4 women who would consider themselves to be nice, reasonable, level-minded. This is as much as you thought about what is good about us as men. That has nothing to do with you. What I'm trying to show you is, for you ladies, for so many women to say this is a man's world, it's a patriarchy, and women is oppressed and this and that, but you look at us as utilities or something to be feared, and you look at us as what we can do for you, not what we are. Men have built, men created, men invent. There's philosophy. We've civilized the world in general. We're not hunter-gatherers anymore. We've eradicated disease. We've done a lot of different things. Even if you talk about that has nothing to do with women. And see, the thing is, you think more about yourself. That's okay. You think about it though.
So that was kind of long. I wanted to hear what his thoughts were, obviously, and yes, it obviously has to do with men create, right? That's what we do. We are interested in things and we create, right? And yes, we've civilized this world, and that's the unfortunate truth is that we've civilized this world so much that this generation of women don't even understand what we've done, right? That's crazy, right, guys? Like we live in such an easy time, and I'm not saying the world is super easy still, guys. It's still hard to make it out there, right? We all know the struggle every day, right? Especially as a man to try to make it and become the top 10%, right? But it's crazy that these women have it so good that they don't even understand how we've civilized this world and made it good for them, right? So I find their funny answers funny, especially football. I guess all men are good for,
okay,
right?
really? Okay.
And I think a huge thing, like Kevin was 100%, but I wanted to touch on something that he missed, right? Is like, obviously, yes, we've created, we've civilized, we've invented things, we've eradicated disease, right? You know, we've obviously philosophized and understand. But yes, the one of the huge things, and you know, he kind of hinted about it, but we teach. We teach, right? Men are also, not just women are the teachers of the culture, but like I told you guys in a past video, right? The woman definitely teaches the truth to the kids and passes it down, but the man also teaches the truth, right? To be correct, the man of how, in terms of what values you're supposed to bring, right, to the kids, right? So that was a huge thing.
And that's what you ladies need to remember.
Yeah.
You say how great men are, and they do so much. And if a man will say, "Shorty, you the best, you the bomb, you this, you that, you great, you wonderful. Tell me 3 things you like about me." Your baby hair, yo. I mean, something is cutting hair.
Yeah.
No, you said 3 things you like about me. If I have a man in front of me
My
and
point,
that individual
my point
asks
is
me to say 3 things that he does good, I can name that about that
Oh,
individual.
this is
exactly. But
hilarious.
that individual, but man, see, and I want you to think about it. Think of how you think about the global image of men. But then if you
Yeah.
asking men to put women on such a high pedestal, you're the mothers of this, you do that, you do this. We're supposed to almost deify you. But you don't think about men as what we're good at or what we do well, except what it has to do. You said the truth. Basically, football.
Wrong with that?
Football is
They're great at
great.
football.
But football, but of all the things, but my point is, of all the things, I ask you to think about your brothers and your sons and these kind of things in the future. Of all the things that men are, we are more than football, cutting hair. I mean, there's a lot, and the thing is, but leading, okay, leading, all right, leading, but leading who? Most women today don't even.
Real quick too. I mean, Kevin's a genius, in terms of like asking the right questions
Yep.
and getting the right answers from these ladies. But I will say this: the honest truth is that throughout time, for the most part, women really hasn't had to care what the men is, right? The value of men, right? Men are disposable for a reason, right? I'm not saying that that's fair, guys, and I'm not trying to sit here and say like, oh my God, you shouldn't respect men. Like, I get what Kevin's trying to say here. Is like, guys, you guys got to understand and respect men and listen to men. That was kind of how this whole conversation started, because if you're not, he was trying to tell these ladies that if you don't listen to a man, let alone your own fathers and your own brothers, then who are you going to listen to? So now he's trying to get them to understand, like, dude, we've done all these things. We're just not protection. We're not just, sex.
Yeah.
So I get what he's trying to do, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know if that's really going to get anywhere within their head. For me personally, like I said, I want the men and women of this day and age, the modern woman, to understand just the deal, the trade again, and what you're supposed to bring to the table for this deal to work.
Well, we're trying to tell you guys that we have to balance out. Yeah. Men and women, we have to come together. That's the thing, and realize the truth. And so far, that's why I was laughing earlier, because these women are not understanding the question, nor is it ingrained into their head that men isn't just a little object thing for you guys to just need them when you need them. No. Yeah. You always needed them. We always needed each other. Yeah. That's what he's trying to say. We need each other. Yeah. Okay? To better our future. Yep. That's what he's trying to tell you, but they do not see it. And that's why I'm laughing, because even if he goes to the end of the show, they're still not going to understand it. They don't. Yeah. It's all about me and being selfish. They're just selfish creatures now in this time.
And what I was trying to get at, guys, is that I don't think it's going to change that men has to become. And I don't want it to change. Women should be looking for a higher percentage of men, a high value man. That's going to give the truth the best outcome. Yeah. Right? I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm shitting on average to below average man. But the reality, guys, if men don't become, we're not capable of providing the truth. That is just the reality. So I get it. Kevin's trying to obviously advocate for a man, and he's trying to get these women to understand that men are more than just a utility. I get that. But at the end of the day, guys, like, as a man, I will be lying to you if I don't tell you that you have to become something. And it has to be better than average. Yeah. Right? To get the outcomes that we want, right? Because I talk about it all the time. We're about outcomes. Right, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, if you're just a $30,000 a year, out of shape, average guy, you're gonna have this great outcome, right? So it's not, and I get, like I said, there's levels to it, and so the unfortunate truth is the man has to become a higher value man to get the outcome that he wants. right? And to get the respect that he wants.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about that. How is a woman going to respect a man if he doesn't have a purpose or he doesn't take care of the things that he's supposed to take care of, right? Just like a woman. How is he going to care for you if you're not even doing anything for him? You're not keeping yourself fit. You're not acting like a woman. You're always picking a fight. The place looks like trash. You're not feeding him or doing anything for him. How will he even like want to have the drive to even be with you? He won't have that drive or be inspired to even work hard. For what? He comes home for something that's not even like giving him any positive feedback. Nobody wants that crap.
But the context that we need to tell them is that unfortunately that man has to have that self-motivation already.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The inspiration gets you to the next level, right? But if you're not a man with that motivation within yourself already, you're not deserving of this. So like I said, I get what Kevin's trying to do. He's trying to advocate for men in general, but the truth is it's going to fall on deaf ears because as an average guy, the reality is if you're average to below average, you're not going to get the outcomes that you want, right? So there, you have to become as a man.
But we're not saying that you can't bring yourself up.
No.
Okay?
No.
We're not.
Yeah.
If you, like say, if you were, overweight or you're unhealthy, get yourself fit, hit the gym, change your diets, all that stuff. Women, the same thing. If you don't look good, we'll find ways. It's the same thing. Like you can bring yourself up a little bit. You have to have motivation and drive to want to do something positive for yourself.
But the difference between man and woman, I'm just, once again, I want to clarify that. The woman really doesn't have to bring themselves up like the man has to bring themselves up. We talk about all the time. Women are born inherently with your value. You have to continue improving upon it and retaining it, right? But it's the man that has to become. Right, and if he becomes, he'll get the outcomes that he's want. So to finalize my point, because I don't want to keep rambling on about it, but the men that Kevin is talking about, and don't get me wrong, a lot of conversations that Kevin has is more about the high value man.
Yeah,
he's referring to these high value men that has built the infrastructure, right, and obviously led other men to help build the infrastructure, right, and obviously invented and done these great things to help mankind out. But it is focusing on the men that actually achieve something is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So you can't get this respect of just being, an average to below average man is all I'm trying to get at. Okay.
I want to be led by a man because it's oppressive.
They don't have nothing to do with it.
Well, that's the point because you're talking about leading. Men don't have any problem with leadership. We have a hierarchy. This is why in the military there's very little, I'm not going to say very little issue. Men sort ourselves into orders and hierarchies very well. I want you guys, here's an assignment. There's a show on Amazon Prime called Bear Grylls, Grylls, show they call The Island. He takes a group of men and a group of women, sets them on deserted islands for 6 weeks with bare essentials, and they got to survive. I want you to watch the difference between how men and how women without technology survive. You'll see by week 5, women were bickering, don't want to be led, making shit by committee. By the end of week 5, men damn near created the Eiffel Tower. Because we know that we have to sort ourselves, and there is order, and somebody has to lead, and it's not all about our feelings, it's about getting stuff done. And we are forgotten. And women today, I think it's fair to say women have forgotten what men.
But to follow on my point earlier about why I say a man has to become, yes, men recognize this hierarchy. There's this leader, and then there's going to be either the worker there's going to be the designer or whatever. But men, you have to also understand that with each position role that you play, there's an outcome. Yeah. So I want to reiterate to my man and my brothers out there, right? If you don't become and you just end up being a worker bee, right, which is average, or let's just say you end up happening just to be the flunky, right, the guy that just maybe goes clean up or go pick something, your outcome, you can't expect the same outcome as the leader or the designer or maybe the top builder guy, right? That's all I'm trying to get. So I get guess what I'm trying to say is no BS, guys. You can't expect respect for all men. you only can get respect if you become. And of course there's levels, right? The more you become, the more respect you get.
Yep.
The more the higher value, if you become that top 0.1% man, you get this high ultimate respect. Now I get it. The modern woman nowadays doesn't understand that hierarchy.
Yeah.
So I want to point that clarification, right? Because you can't expect all women to be like, oh, I'm going to respect all men.
No.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I just wanted to clarify that because, you know, obviously Kevin was trying to get them to say, hey, you got to try to respect all men. I'm just trying to say, like, you can't. Because certain men that don't become, that don't try, don't put the effort to become a higher value or at least average to above average man, you're not going to earn that respect. And rightfully so. That's all I'm trying to say, okay, to finish my point.
What men are, what make us great, other than the fact of what we can do for you. It's not an indictment to you. It's the fact that we have issues in this world. And my point is, it doesn't get better until women start becoming aware of what's going on, how you were raised, how you were taught. All you guys are under 30. You didn't come to a lot of this stuff on your own. A lot of this stuff was taught, the media, the school, the culture. But now at least you're aware of it. And if you want to have anything different with a man in your life, you're going to have to become more aware of what the kind of men you want.
Yeah.
Because men are basically very simple. You know, men in general, they want cooperation. There's a whole thing, sex sandwich silence, but cooperation is really what men want.
Do you feel like it's cooperation? Because I understand cooperation, because even when you're like, you have two people, or let's just say it's not like a relationship, when you're doing anything and there's more than one person, you need to cooperate to get whatever done, right? So where does it come in to where like men feel like they don't know how to cooperate, they know how to tell you what the fuck to do? So it's not so much a cooperation anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like...
Well, first of all, again, these are the men you pick.
Oh, I know. When I say that it's circumstantial,
Well, these are the men.
Like my
These are the men you pick. So that's number one. Number two, like it or not, if you and a man have a child, little junior, your instincts may be to go left. His are going to be to go right. You can't pull DNA rank on him. Who and your which direction do you go? Who do you listen to? The mother or the father? Because you can't do both. A decision has to be made.
So you're asking me if who does the kid listen to?
No, you're the mother. He's the father. A decision has to be made about the child. You say left, he says right. You can't do both.
Let's see if she
Which
answers.
direction?
Okay, so there was no answer.
she didn't
so,
answer.
Yeah. So once again, a lot of Kevin Samuel's conversation, this is not a criticism on him. Like I said, I really like his content. But he usually, his conversations are based upon a high value man's perspective, right? Because the high value man is the one that's going to say, hey, I'm the leader. My decision goes. And her question at the end was in essence like, well, if you want cooperation, what if you're not really the leader? Like, I don't really trust your leadership. And so he was trying to clarify, well, then, you know, if you have a kid with this guy and he makes this decision to go left and you make the decision to go right, who goes? So Kevin's really looking at it from more of like a high value man leadership. And I get the reason why is because all women want high value men, right? They all want this top 10% men. So this comes back to my point once again, and I'm going to continue finalizing it, which is, guys, you have to become to get this outcome that you want. You cannot expect to be average, and especially below average, and expect to have this woman cooperate, right? Because the truth of the matter is, if you're average to below average, you're not really a leader.
I'm trying to tell you, respect is earned, and that's both ways.
Yeah, and
respect is earned.
That's not trying to shit on the average guy, right?
No.
But the truth of the matter, if you're average, you're not that leader. No. It's just the truth. The leader is the top guy, technically, right? If you just talk about definition, clear definitions, guy, right? No BS. The leader is the guy who's in charge. How many leaders can you have in any company, any group? It's one. Right? So if you're the average guy within that group, that means you're not the leader. So how are you supposed to expect the cooperation if you're not the leader?
Yep.
Right? So my point is, I get it. Like, you know, we live in this day and age where we kind of want to overcorrect now. I'm just warning the men. Like, we want to overcorrect, but we can't. You
can't have two pants in the house, ladies. What I'm trying to tell you is, okay, you try to be like, well, I have to go get my bag and I have to have my finance. But if you're marrying someone who's truly already successful, okay? He has all his finance in line. He has everything. He has his clout and stuff. Why would he give a rat's ass what else you can bring down to the table? He will not care. And this is what we're trying to tell you.
Finance-wise.
Yeah,
Yes.
finance-wise. Yeah. He cares if you upkeep yourself. Do you look good? Do you smell good? Yeah. This is what we're trying to tell you. And, you know, you guys do not see it. And sometimes I'm like, why do you not see the picture? If you're going to get this 6-figure guy, upkeep yourself.
Yeah, but once again, that's the perspective from a high-value man, right? Where I'm talking about average guys now, and so that's what she's saying in terms of like the average, like, you know, how is the average man supposed to get cooperation? And the truth, guys, is it's gonna be hard, right? Because if you're not doing everything to provide everything, for example, let's say in this situation, an average guy gets with one of these women. Right? An average guy needs to have her definitely bring finance to the table. He's only making $40,000 a year. He's not going to provide everything for their family. Right? And so if she has to bring a little bit to take care of the rest, let's say she brings in only 20 or 30,000 to make up the other half that they need to do to survive, that's where the leadership question comes into answer. Right? That is the truth, guys. So Kevin's looking at it from a high value man's perspective. And yes, a lot of women look at it, unfortunately, from like this 50-50 partnership. But the truth of the matter is, if it is reality of 50-50 partnership, the leadership is going to be in question. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. If you want to have that leadership role, you have to become a leader.
Then you just have to, and you men just have to work a little bit harder if you want that respect. If you don't want 2 alphas or you don't want 2 leaders, because there's no, like a company is open, there's no 2 CEOs there or a president of our United States. There's no 2 presidents. There's presidents, vice presidents, and on and on. Okay, kings. Okay, queens. There's kings and queens in different countries. We're trying to tell you, you can't have 2 major lions together, even in the lion analogy that my husband points out. Okay, one has to kill the other and say, this is my colony now, and you're, we're trying to tell you is it doesn't matter if you're the middleman or not. If you want to bring yourself up and become that leader, then do it. Then prove it. And
that's the key is
work hard. It's not, life isn't easy.
And to further my point, this is what I want to say. You got to know your role. You got to know, if you know you're average and you're going to get with another woman who's average or so, and you're going to have to work together as a partnership, then that's what it's going to have to be. And so you guys are going to have to work together to lead, because you're not the 100% leader. Right? And like my wife said, you can work on that. You can improve yourself. No one's saying that you can't. But I'm just saying, if you truly are, and this is the other problem. Well, this is another video altogether. I don't want to get too far into it, right? But if you are truly happy with yourself being average, then you have to accept the fact that you're not going to be the 100% leader. So as an average guy, you can't demand saying, oh, I want to be the boss of the household and I want to be the boss of this, if she actually has to bring the other finance to the table. It's going to be difficult in this day and age, is all I'm trying to tell you.
Well, but at the same time, you still have your roles. He's still your husband. You still got to respect each other. And she's your wife, mother of your child. You still got to respect each other. There's no beating around the bush on that. It takes 2 to tangle. It takes 2 to make your child and the best outcome for your child. So there is no like disrespecting each other just because one, maybe your husband brings a little bit lesser money than you or whatever else. He's still your man. Respect him. And she is still your wife. Respect her. And then you guys will be okay.
But my point is, there's got to be this understanding between the both of them, and understand that you guys each accept what the reality is the roles, right? And so either one, like, if the woman is obviously having to bring the finance, make sure that you're happy that you're bringing that. And like my wife said, don't expect him to be this millionaire. Right? You got yourself, just like Kevin said at the end, you chose this man. You chose this man that you wanted to have this 50-50 with, because he wasn't an alpha, a high value man. So then you have to accept that. You can't have something that you're not.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot have something that this guy is not capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife is 100% correct. You know, you still have to respect him because you're the one that put yourself in this situation with this man.
No one's putting a gun to your head and say, hey, you got to marry this person. No one's, no one is forcing you. Okay. Well, maybe someone out there is being forced, but you know what? You can get yourself out of there. But that's like maybe 0.00 whatever, But most of the time, 90 something percent, you guys are choosing your mate.
Correct.
You're choosing that person. So either deal with it and work and respect one another, and then try to get the best outcome for your guys. It's not like trying to say like, oh, you only make a certain amount that you're only going to stop there. No, you want more, then you got to work harder. That's just life.
And
That's
the truth, guys, is that it's swang the other way. I think most men who are in that position are fairly content. They know who they are, right? They know they're just an average earner. They know they can't get like this top percentage of women. So they're with these women who are obviously bringing finance to the table and maybe not bringing all the necessary values that a high value man would want, right? So I think the man, because this is where the modern society has failed, right? The man in this situation, he's pretty content. Unfortunately, it's the modern women nowadays that aren't content with that situation, right?
Well, here you go, ladies. Okay. If you get with a person or the man, men are straightforward. You see what you get. Okay. They're straightforward. Like us women, we can, layer ourselves with makeup. We can act a certain way. We can dress a certain way, But what we're trying to say is you chose that person. So just respect one another and work with each other. And if you guys want more, then work harder. Yeah. That is it. And I'm done.
Understand your role.
Yeah.
That's right.
It.
Understand where you fit, right? And be happy with it if that's the choice you decide to.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So that was a good video, right? Definitely
was
good.
Great.
So good reaction video. So guys, check you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.